Yeah, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. This is a little bit of a talking heads kind of video. This is my head. This is me talking. I suppose that's what that means, right? Anyway, if you're new to the channel, then I do lots of guitar stuff, guitar builds, crazy stuff. There's gig footage, there's live music, there's songwriting, there's all sorts of stuff. Mainly guitar, geeky stuff. We do love a guitar. My life is now being steered towards not playing live music. I did that for a long time. I've done a video all about that. 30 years, thousands and thousands of gig. It wears you down in the end. Well, it wore me down in the end anyway. So this is one of the rare occasions that I actually get to play guitar. I'm in my van. I live in my van. This is my van. And I'm sat here playing this guitar. This really beat up old Ninja Star. We think it's from the 70s, we're not sure, maybe 80s. And I'm sitting here playing it. This is one of the ones I modded for the collapsible neck so I can put it under my seat. And I'm sitting here playing it and I'm thinking, this guitar's great. It's got really low action, it's really fast. And there's a reason for that as well, but this is just an entry-level, probably a plywood body, bolt-on neck thing that you got in a catalogue many years ago. Don't know where it was made, don't know where they were making things like that back in them days. Japan, don't know, Korea maybe, I don't know. You tell me, if you know anything about Ninja Star guitars, let me know. But I love this blooming thing, it's absolutely amazing. I was sat here thinking, do you know what, in my very long music career, over 30 years, I've never owned what people call a high-end instrument, or like an expensive instrument. I think the most expensive guitar I ever bought for gigging, or for anything really, was probably a Mexican Strat. I had 2 Mexican Strats at one time. Apart from that, everything I've owned has pretty much been budget, entry-level stuff. And over the years, the entry-level stuff has got better and better and better. Now, the stuff that's coming out, I've got this SX Stratocaster, which is actually up for sale. I'm having trouble selling it, which is really weird. Probably because it's not a known brand, but it's absolutely brilliant. And I have done video on that, but I may keep it and upgrade it a little bit. And the guitar snobbery thing is a thing. Because when I was active in the scene, in the circuit, when I was proper going for it, you know, releasing albums and touring, doing the major clubs, going abroad and that kind of thing, it was it was very, there is an obvious gear snobbery thing where audience members do it as well, and other bands or other guitar players. If you're doing a festival, you're doing a double header or a support or something like that, they instantly gravitate to see what gear you're using before you even play, before you've done anything. And the amount of times people have gone, oh, it's a Squier, oh, it's what, you play a Harley Benton? Or they look at your pedal board and they're like, well, you know, what's that? You know, you've got these like Chinese clone pedals and things. And it always made me laugh, because one, I've never been in the position to be able to afford anything. Even more so now, I can't afford to go and buy a Gibson Les Paul or an American, Fender Stratocaster or anything like that. So the fact that these entry level, low cost guitars are good is great for me. But even this is a decent guitar. Now, I'm not saying it probably wasn't when it came out of the factory, but the reason that it does play really well is because I learned how to set a guitar up, and I think that's really important. If you're going to spend any money, rather than go and spending money on buying really expensive instruments and then spending lots of money on getting them set up and things like that, I think it's a good investment to be taught, go and pay to be taught to do it yourself, because you can pretty much make most guitars play really well. This is a really lovely guitar to play, but it did take some work. It took some fret work. Obviously I had to do the intonation, and I had to do the truss rod and all that stuff and set it all up. but I've got it going, got it playing pretty lovely. And for a bolt-on neck, it resonates, pretty well, and it gigs. I've gigged this guitar a few times. It is a joy to play. I use it as the beat-up guitar. I use it in the van to bash about with, and I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. And what's always amazed me as well is like, just because you're playing a £3,000 Gibson Les Paul, it doesn't make you a better player. I mean, the guitar itself will be better quality, not always though. I've literally just watched a video this morning, and this guy was ripping apart a £3,000 Gibson Les Paul, and it was terrible. I would have sent it back instantly. It had dents in it, and it was just terrible. The finish on it was terrible. The frets were scarred. It was £3,000, and you're like, wow. Some of the entry level stuff, the Harley Benton stuff, the Fesley stuff, to name a few, the SX stuff is coming out with better quality control than these Gibsons. And it made me think, well, at the end of the day, blind tested, you probably wouldn't notice the difference. You may notice a slight difference, but £3,000 worth to £300, you think, how many guitars and how many amps can you buy? It's like my amp I used gigging for years. It was the Harley Benton Tube 15. Absolutely killer amp. Cost me, I think it was less than £200 at the time, and I've gigged that solid for years. And people used to come up to me at gigs and go, wow, that sounds amazing. What amp is that? And I go, it was Harley Benton, what? So it just goes to show, the stuff that's coming out now is I don't know if it's going to be the end for, or the beginning of the end for brands like Gibson and Fender and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that wants to go and spend all that money on a guitar. If you've got the money, if you've got the means, then so be it. I've known bedroom guitarists over the years that have bought really high-end, lovely gear, lovely amps, really expensive, lovely guitars, really expensive, and they never leave the house. But they get a lot of enjoyment out of it. That's fine. I'm not knocking that. I'm not being the other. What's the opposite to a gear snob? The opposite. I'm not being that at all. And to be honest, and I was talking to the wife about it actually this morning, is maybe I should treat myself to an expensive guitar at some point. But if I bought an expensive guitar, I wouldn't buy an electric. I have a lot of fun with the cheaper stuff. I have a lot of fun exploring what's out and buying like a guitar for 150 quid from a Chinese company, and being like, wow, that's amazing, and making it sound great and making it play great and upgrading it and stuff. That's a lot of fun for me, and I think that's what a lot of people like to see on the channel. I'm not 100%. I'll come back to the channel in a minute, but it's if I was going to buy a high-end guitar or an expensive guitar, you'll have to excuse the noise. I'm parked near a hospital. It would be an acoustic, because I think if you're going to spend money on a guitar, an acoustic is worth spending the money on, purely to get the better quality wood, because the wood makes a big difference in an acoustic guitar and the build and everything. I will say that. Not so much an electric guitar. It's more to do with the pickups, electronics. Yeah, another story as well, and I remember this when I was a lecturer at college, and we put on a show at a place called the Wedgwood Rooms. Part of the course was you'd have to put a band together and go and perform on a stage and learn the song. It was all like, developing people to work together in band situations and stuff like that. So we put on a show at the place called the Wedgwood Rooms in Southsea. So it's a big, proper venue with a big stage and all that kind of thing. And the college itself at the time only had a few amps, but they had a few like Marshall, the MG, whatever they were, the solid state Marshall. They're basically practice amps, like 50, but yeah, they had 50 watt ones and stuff like that, but they marked them up on the stage anyway. And I took two of my amps down, two valve amps. One was a 50 watt valve amp, one was a 30 watt valve amp, and they were killer amps, but they weren't branded amps. I think they were they Ashton. They were Ashton Vipers, right? That's right, they were Ashton Vipers, and they were killer amps. And I had them on the stage, and we had all these crappy Marshalls, and not one student plugged into the valve amp. because it didn't have Marshall or didn't have Fender or whatever written on it. And those Marshalls, they sounded bad. Do you know what I mean? And my band got up and played because we had like you know, like the Lecturers band, and I plugged into the valve amps. Oh wow, the difference in the tone and the sound, and the sound guy was like, go figure. Anyway, that was that. So yeah, so the guitar snobbery thing, it's always been a thing, and you get two kinds of people. You get some people have turned around to me and said, why do you play cheap guitar? Why don't you invest in a proper guitar? I've had that. Why don't you invest in a proper guitar? It's the tool of your trade. You should have, you know, a better quality instrument. And my answer is, was that going to make me better? Is it going to make me play better, sound better? Probably not. You know, by the time you've, you know, gone through the sound desk and the sound engineers done all that, you know, as far as the guitar's concerned, I mean, amps, I would agree. Yeah, but the guitar itself, not really. Is it more of a just? It's like, oh, you're expected to be playing a Fender or a Gibson or whatever. Blimey, sound like someone's crashed out. Bin men, I think. And you get those kind of people, and then you get the other kind of people that are like, I can't believe the sound you get out of that guitar. I've had that. You know, you get people coming and go, whoa, the tone you get out of that, how much was that? And I'll be like, I don't know, it's a bits of cars, it'd be a bits and bobs that I've chucked together, like a Squire neck and a whatever, you know. What pickups you got in that? I don't know, they're just the cheap, you know, cheap Squire Affinity or the Bullet, whatever, pickups. You know, Harley Benton, you know, what were they? Roswells, you know, pickups. It's what do they call it? The diminishing returns or whatever. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter as long as you can get a guitar that you can set up well and it plays well. You can upgrade pickups. Pickups don't cost a lot of money, you know. The Ori Pure stuff that I've been demoing is amazing, and they're not that expensive at all. Not expensive whatsoever. So you can get yourself like an entry-level guitar for a couple of £100, buy some decent pickups for £100, chuck them in, maybe change the tuners. Don't always have to change the tuners. I mean, these are just, don't know what they are. They're smooth and they hold their tune well. They're probably the original tuners. There's nothing wrong with them. What I did do is I changed the nut for a bone nut. That usually makes a big difference. This is original hardware. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it all works. It's all functional. But you could upgrade all that, and then you've got yourself like a guitar that's equally as good sounding wise and playing wise than a 3000 maybe guitar. I mean, some would argue. You can argue with me in the comments if you like. But I just always found it quite fascinating, and I can remember touring with a guy from America years ago, and he had high-end, like proper high-end gear, some Roger Mayer pedals, and Fender, you know, obviously USA Fender Stratocaster and amplifier, and he had nothing but problems. He was always having problems. He had tuning problems like you wouldn't believe. His amp kept blowing up, and he had to use mine, and it goes on like that, you know. And you think, well, you spent all this money on this gear, and it's just not reliable at all, you know. And there's me with my entry-level cheap stuff, and it just performs night after night. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird thing that, you know, came into my mind, and I thought I'd share it with you. Bin man right outside the window just as you're recording. My old man, the dustman. Where's the dustman's hat? Obviously I don't have this plugged in. And you might have seen from a past video that I've now got a new studio coming, so I'm going to be able to do much better stuff, and that brings me onto the channel as well. So, you know, I do videos. It's pretty, my channel's really weird because I can do a video and it will fly, you know, get loads and loads of views and blah blah blah, and then I can do another video and it will flop. And I try to keep it varied. I mean, it's really hard to pinpoint what people want to see, you know. I've tried everything as well. I've done reaction videos, builds, crazy mods, down to live performing over the years, and this channel's quite old. Tutorial stuff. and it's really hard to pinpoint what people want to actually see. I think the entry level stuff, especially the state of the economy at the moment, state of everything at the moment, you know, it's like, you know, affording, there's me saying I want to treat myself to an expensive guitar. I can't even afford an entry level guitar, let alone an expensive guitar. So, you know, it's a case of I'm just buying up secondhand stuff, getting free stuff, and all of that. But as far as the channel goes, I'll just keep going and being honest and try to spark conversation and ideas, and hopefully pass on some knowledge if I can, and learn as well. It's got, you know, learn off other people too. It's always great. You're always expanding your knowledge. But yeah, I think the whole point of this is, you know, yeah, don't ignore the cheap stuff. I mean, even these old things. I mean, my old Columbus that I've got from the 80s. Well, I love it. Absolutely brilliant. You can do stuff with them. I don't know what to do with this one actually. I might do some more to it. It's almost relicked anyway, so I could go proper full-on relic. It's even got a belly cut. Look, I mean, that's cool, isn't it? They were on it back then. But yeah, I mean, the stuff that's coming out of China now is highly competitive. It really is. I mean, Harley Benton have been doing it a while, but yeah, there's lots of other little brands coming out. It's good stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to shine a little light on that. And you know, if you go and see a band and they've got, you know, and you're looking at the gear and they're only using cheap gear, don't think less of them for it. You know, yeah, they're probably great players. You know. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video there, so thanks for sticking around. If you have stuck around for my little waffle on, I just thought I'd share that with you. If you like this kind of talking heads kind of video, then yeah, let me know. If not, yeah, let me know. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and all that good stuff, and God bless you, and here's the jingle. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you like my YouTube show, hit like and comment and get involved. If you dig my vibe, then hit subscribe and never miss an episode of my YouTube show. Peace. Till next time.